John Less here of Less Archery Adventures. Serious testing, successful hunting. Today I'm going to be testing another head by Rek. Rek came on the scene a couple years ago, and I've been really impressed with their designs, and they've revamped some of them and added some new models, and they just keep getting better and better. And today I'm going to be testing the Hxp. It's like their extra wide mechanical head. Previously, I tested the XP, and it did really well. Now I'm testing the bigger brother of it. So I've been wanting to test this for a while. I'm glad I finally got my hands on them. And so I'm going to be using my protocol for 2025 for this test. And for a description of that, please check out the video that I posted earlier this year called 2025 Broadhead Test Process. And it'll help you understand how I do the tests and why I do the tests and so forth. And for most of the shooting, I'm using my Elite Archery compound bow that I'm just loving. And for the flight testing, I'm using Killer Instinct crossbows that I'm also really enjoying testing like that. I'm enjoying hunting with those as well when I get a chance. And for all the arrows and bolts, I'm using Bishop archery stuff because it's just fantastic. Okay, let's zoom on in here and go through some of the design features and specifications, and then put this Hxp to the test. Here's a good look at the Rek Hxp. Really nice looking broadhead right here. Let's dive into first the materials. The ferrule is made out of a 7075 aluminum, which, as I always say, if you're going to use aluminum to cut back on the weight, then a 7075 is a good choice because it's stronger even than some steels. Then it's got this hardened chisel tip, hardened stainless steel chisel tip. And I mean, look at the size of that. It's just a stout, sharp tip that's going to open up a nice wound channel for the shaft, the arrow shaft, to glide right through. The blades are also stainless steel, and they have a thickness of 0.039 inches, so pretty thick blades right there. And then the diameter, when it's fully deployed and the blades are open, is 2¼ inches. And the way it works is, as it penetrates, pressure is put on these deployment arms right here, and I believe it takes 3.8 pounds to deploy the blades, but 3.8 pounds of force breaks this little clip that they have in there, and then the blades swing forward, and they have an initial slap cut, as they call it, when they first, bam, open forward, of up to 3 inches, but then they reach their diameter, they settle down, reach their diameter cut of 2¼ inches. And here's one that's already in the open position. I already shot this one, so you can get an idea of what it looks like. And you'll notice that the blades have a steeper angle right here, which just is that last part just allows for better penetration and also less pressure to be put on the blades at this extra weak place right there. So it'll help with durability as well as with penetration. The length of the broadhead is 1.85 inches. And with these deployment arms and this retention system, they're rated to 450 feet per second in flight and rated for crossbows as well. When I've shot them out of crossbows, they've done very well. The price is $20 per head, but you can use my discount code of LUSK10 and save 10% on any order. So that's nice. And for the quality of head that you're getting, that's a pretty good deal there. For resharpening, I would use the Stay Sharp Guide C kit. I think it would work really well with these blades. So look forward to putting this Hxp to the test and see how it performs. The Rek crushed a bullseye. It took 197 grams of force to cut through the wire, which is a 10 on a 10-point scale, plus a bonus for being under the threshold of 200. It penetrated 6¼ inches, and it reached its full cutting diameter upon impact. It only took an additional 6 grams of force to cut through the wire, which is a 9.88 on a 10-point scale. It penetrated through 47 layers, which is a 6.71 on a 10-point scale, and it's actually pretty good given that size of a cut. It's in fantastic shape after the 3 shots through the MDF. The only damage is you can see at the very top of the blades where they slap against the ferrule, there's a little bit of an indentation, but that's a small knock on it. And here it is after the 2 shots to the steel plate. Man, it's really rare that a rear deploying mechanical with this big of a cut especially can stay together after 2 shots to the steel plate, but this one has done it just fine. The only damage is the ends of the blades, like the deployment arms, those have broken off and the blades bent back a bit. You can see the curve to them, but man, they punched decent holes in the steel plate. You can see it's not the full cutting diameter, and that's what happens with steel plate. It kind of crunches down the blades a bit, but man, it held together quite well. Here it is after all the durability testing, and for such a large cutting mechanical, it did quite well. It did really well through the MDF. The blades just got bent back just a little bit, and then through the steel plate, the deployment arms broke off on the second shot, and you can see the blades got bent back even more, got a little bit of chatter to them, a little bit of bend to them, but otherwise, held together, which is impressive. They didn't break off, and the tip did really good through the steel plate, and then into the cinder block, it continued to do well. That tip is really something. There's a slight bend in the ferrule that you can see with that little bit of a wobble there, but overall, really good durability, again, for such a large cutting mechanical. So what'd you think? Man, no surprise, it did really well. It got a really high score. I knew it would get a higher score because of that extra wide cut, but I wondered would it be able to hold up in the durability testing, and it did. I was really impressed with that, with such a wide cut to be that durable, those blades. That's really impressive. I've been so impressed with Rek for the last couple of years that I think it was last fall I reached out to him and asked him if they'd give me a discount code that I could pass on to all of you as viewers, and they did. So if you use the discount code LUSK10 on any online orders, you save 10%. And hey, 10% is 10%. It'll save you some bucks. But man, they really did a fantastic job with this head. You check out the score sheet and see how it performed in the areas that matter to you the most, and see if it might be a good fit for you in your setup and your hunting needs. And stay tuned for the overall cumulative score, as well as the corresponding LUSK grade, and a list of all the discount codes that I can offer just to pass on some savings to you, like the one for Rek. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Look forward to seeing you next time.